Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Hanna-Barbera Captain Caveman figure by Jazwares. So Jazwares has been putting out this really neat little line of characters based on the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And while they've kind of mostly been met with mixed reactions, there were some figures in this recent wave that I just had to spring for and check out. Namely, Captain Caveman here. So Captain Caveman comes on this bright green and yellow blister card packaging. The bottom of it's got the Captain Caveman image, along with the Captain Caveman nameplate at the top of the blister bubble. The back of that box lists off several of the different Hanna-Barbera cartoon names that we can see in this new toy line, and has this really cool collage of the different Hanna-Barbera characters. Oh man, Blue Falcon and Dynamut? Jazwares, you better give those to us. Alright, so let's take a look at old Captain Caveman outside of the packaging here. Now the figure is in the 3-inch scale, so he's very short. And as you can see, he actually does have a pretty good sculpt to him. He does a pretty great job of capturing the look of the classic character in toy form. He's got that scraggly hair sticking off the top of his head and the same style mustache coming out from under his really long nose and those wacky little Captain Caveman eyes. He's a very cool looking action figure. The paint job on the figure is pretty decent. I don't have any splotches or bad paint anywhere on there. And the articulation on this guy is very limited. I mean, I guess there's really not a lot of ways you can articulate a character that looks like this, but here's what Jazwares gave us. First of all, the cape is made of a very solid plastic, so it's hard and not very flexible and does not move at all. He has ball-like joints at the shoulder, so you can rotate his arms and move them up and down, and then he just has little hinge joints at the wrist, so they can move up and down, but they don't swivel at all. He's got a cut at where his waist would be, so you can move him back and forth, though it does kind of mess up the lines of the sculpting there. It looks a little strange. And then his legs are just able to swivel, and then his feet have hinge joints allowing them to move up and down. And as you can see, those ankle joints there, they're very loose on my figure, so his feet are kind of floppy. But the figure seems to stand up okay. There's just not a lot of posing you can get out of this guy. Not very many ways you can move the arms around that look any different than the way you've just got him standing there. Now, Captain Caveman does come with one accessory, his trusty club. It's just a solid brown plastic, but it does have some nice little wood lines sculpted in there. His right hand is molded to hold onto that club, so you can just slide it in there and he holds on nice and firm to really complete the look of Captain Caveman. Now, since he doesn't have wrist swivels, unfortunately, that really does lack the way that you can pose him with that club. There's not a lot of different stances you can get out of him. Basically, he just kind of holds it out there in front of him, but it does still look really cool in his hands. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much it. That's the Captain Caveman figure. He's not very posable, there's not a lot of different ways you can get to display him, but he is a really neat looking figure. Honestly, I'm pretty okay with him overall. He's got a decent paint job, and other than the joints being a little loose in his ankles, the rest of the joints do seem pretty tight and they're going to hold fine, and I mean, he just looks cool. Who would have ever thought that I'd get an action figure of Captain Caveman? I think that's the one thing that kind of excites me about this figure. So Captain Caveman and the rest of Jazwares' Hanna-Barbera toy line are in stores right now. So happy hunting, and until next time.